Let's break down cover 3. What is cover 3? Cover 3 is a really balanced zone coverage. If you're struggling with getting beat by short balls on cover 4 and you're getting beat deep on cover 2, cover 3 is what defenses run. A cover 3 zone consists of 3 people deep and 4 underneath zones. The 3 deep are usually 2 corners and 1 safety, and the underneath zones vary who covers what. Now there are weaknesses to cover 3, but I would consider cover 3 one of the strongest zone coverages to go against an offense. Now let's get into some film and watch some NFL defenses run their version of cover 3. Our first example of cover 3, let's take a look at how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run cover 3 against the Kansas City Chiefs. How do we know pre-snap, and how do their post-snap movements as a defense confirm what we read pre-snap? Our pre-snap read is always reading how many safeties are deep. In this example, we see 1 free safety deep, and the strong safety actually walked up, and he's pretty close to being in the box. So based off that alone, we're able to put together that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are either in cover 1 or in cover 3. Now let's move to the defensive backs alignment. But before we do that, the offense is actually going to do something that's going to be able to tell us whether this is man cover 1 or cover 3 even before the ball snapped. If this was a man coverage look, you would see somebody from the defense running behind the linebackers chasing Travis Kelce to line up in man coverage once he gets aligned. In this case, you can see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defenders passing Travis Kelce off as he goes across the formation. So since nobody followed Travis Kelce as he goes across the formation, we pretty much know before the ball is snapped that this is going to be some type of zone coverage. But how can we be sure that this is some type of zone coverage? Well, now let's go back and read the defensive back alignment now that Travis Kelce is already in his spot where he wanted to motion to. Let's start that process by looking at the bottom of our screen. Let's look at the strong safety and cornerback together. We see the cornerback has his hips, eyes, and shoulders all square looking at the quarterback. Those things would tell us that he is in a zone coverage look. Moving to the strong safety, if we remember where he was before the motion, we saw that he was lined up over nobody. Now after the motion, although he's bumped out and his hips are square towards the receiver, he's still looking at the quarterback. So we can use both of those things to tell us that he's most likely in his zone coverage look. Moving to the top corner, he has his eyes looking right at the quarterback. Also, he's not directly over a man, so that would also tell us that just based on the way he's aligned, he's in some type of zone coverage look. So our pre-snap read had 2 coverages to pick from, either cover 1 man or cover 3, which is a zone look. And now, in analyzing all the defensive backs, they are all in a zone look. So that would tell us that Tampa Bay is running cover 3. How does the post-snap confirm this? Well, the top corner doesn't have an immediate threat. So that's why you see him not move instantly, but all the other corners and safeties are moving back. And we see that they're bailing to their zones. Tampa does a great job here running cover 3. The only option that was open was the check down, and that got batted down. In our next example of cover 3, we're going to take a look at Seattle playing cover 3 against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Now, Tom Brady does a couple of things here that really tell us what coverage Seattle's running before the ball is even snapped. But before we get into that, let's see how many safeties are going to be deep on this play. And we can see that there really is going to be 1 free safety deep. Again, like the first example, the strong safety's walked up and he's a box player now. So with 1 safety being high, we can narrow the coverages down to either cover 1 man or cover 3, which is a zone coverage. We saw a motion on our previous example, and we're going to see another motion here that's going to tell us the exact same thing. What does that motion tell us? Well, nobody followed him across the formation. So that obviously means somebody's not man covering him. They passed him off as he was crossing. So that would indicate to us that this defense is most likely a zone coverage. So with those two things alone, I think you can be pretty confident in saying that this is going to be a cover 3 zone coming out from Seattle. But with that, Seattle does know that they're giving signs that this could be zone coverage. So they're going to try to combat that by making the corners look like they're playing man coverage on the receivers. All the corners are squared up and have eyes looking directly on the man that they're over the top of, which would usually tell us that they're in man coverage. But with the first two things we read, we know that not to be true. Now I'm going to play it and see if you can see anything that the corners did. Both of the corners kind of react, and that's Tom Brady faking the snap count. That shows Tom Brady what the corners really want to do. They don't really want to play man coverage because they thought the ball was being snapped and they're bailing right away. We got him to show us his coverage that he's going to go in for just a split second, but that's all we really need to tell that this is really cover 3. A wide open hip stance, looking at the quarterback, you can tell that he's going to be bailing into a deep third. And now, once we let Julian Edelman motion in and we pause it, if we were reading that corner, we would be able to tell that he's in the same position that that corner was when he had his hips open. He has his eyes facing towards the quarterback, and he's ready to bail out into his deep third. And now once we play it through, we can see everybody going to their correct zones. And again, just like the result of the Tampa Bay play that we watched earlier, they got Tom Brady to check it down because they had a very good coverage on the back end.